Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
This your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We here today. Hip-hop and politics come together. We got an extraordinary event with some extraordinary people in there. We're going to go inside. We're going to chop up some good games. Y'all be right. Stay with us. We'll be right in. We'll be right back. It's your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We here, politics, Wall Street, and hip-hop has come together under one roof, one banner. And my next guest, what's your name?
Renee Owens. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Tell the people a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Hi, my name is Renee Owens. I have Blessed Beyond Measure Food Pantry in Hill Hope 11 Pound that help people deal with narcissistic abuse.
That's outstanding. Why did you feel the need to be here today?
I'm here with I have associate of Ruby Williams, one of his associates.
And so where are you located? You said you're out of, where's your record label out of?
I'm out of Dover, Delaware. I'm also Alpha Entertainment and Seven City Records. I'm co-executive.
That's amazing. And so we're under this roof with hip-hop, politics, and Wall Street. Why is it important for all three of them to come together under one roof?
So we can network and we can come together and get cohesive to build this empire that we're going to do. Yes.
Ma'am, are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, and also a member of Black Wall Street myself.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Happy 25th birthday, right?
Yes, excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day and night, rather. And, the vibe in here is really outstanding.
Yes, it is. We're just here to have fun and entertain and just enjoy ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You have a great day.
You do the same. Thanks. This is your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We'll be right back. It's your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We're here at the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. We have hip-hop, we have politics, and we have economics all under one roof. I'm here today with, what's your name, sir?
Rodney Red Grant, the one and only.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. What exactly do you do, sir?
I do a lot of things. I'm running for mayor of Washington, D.C. as we speak. 30-year career in comedy, entertainment, production. Produced over 25 shows for the Viacom network. Have one of the biggest nonprofit organizations in the world called Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras, Beyond Your Block. And today I'm being honored as a living legend. So I'm just here having fun and smiling.
You deserve it.
Yes, we do.
Now, what made you want to run for mayor, sir?
I was called to run for mayor. People of my great city of Washington, D.C. were tired of the typical politics that was going on. Me being a humanitarian, they thought it would be a more favorable situation for a person that really cares about the community to get involved with the community. So I quit my $1 million job to serve as our community, and here we are.
That's outstanding. Our show is a political TV show. I don't know if you are fully aware of that. And one of the things that I always echo on my show is gentrification. And I've noticed that gentrification is also hitting DC very hard. Like the Chocolate City has now got a little swirl. You know what I mean? How do you feel about gentrification? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Well, gentrification is we are the number one city for gentrification right now. Um, I think that we have to get to a point where you can't push out the people who created the culture in a city just to build economic, and development. You got to develop around the people that are in the city so they can
And make them inclusive.
yeah, and make them be able to afford the city. It comes down to diversity and equity and inclusion. And sometimes, when these developers are developing, they are not developing for the citizens who are there already in the Washington D.C. area, or Harlem, or Brooklyn, or Chicago, and many other cities. So we got to force the banks to um, have checks and balances on these developers, so they will make affordable housing for the people who are in the city. Because it's all right to build great buildings, but if you're pushing people out, it's not a situation that we stand for.
I absolutely agree. And I'll go a step further and say we have to really pressure the federal government because, in my humblest opinion, I think gentrification is ethnic cleansing American style. And so the federal government's become complicit in that through a lot of rezoning districts and expanding districts to make voting disparaging. So we talk about the Voting Right Act and all of that, but you're actually shrinking districts to favor. I mean, I could go on and on. We're not here for that. Hopefully one day I could come down and we could chop it up in D.C. But I like what you stand for. Thank you for being out here. Thank you for running for mayor.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you? How can people volunteer? How do our viewers get in touch with you? Because we're in 51 countries throughout the world.
Grant for MayorDC.com, GRANT for MayorDC.com. And make sure y'all get involved. Make sure to become a volunteer. Donate to the campaign. It's a beautiful time. We will make history on November 8th, 2022. And we need you guys to be involved. So keep smiling, keep the energy right, and make sure you vote no matter where you are in the country.
Thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Yes, sir.
This your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We're here at the Wall Street Project 25th birthday. Politics, hip-hop, and Wall Street is under one roof, and they're doing amazing things. I want to give a big shout-out to my man right now, Mick. How to rap. For those that don't know,
Those who don't know, they need to understand something. I am a member and a co-founder of the Universal Zulu Nation. In 1973, we started the Universal Zulu Nation. In 1974, without going to say, we created something called hip-hop because there was no genre of music on the music chart at the time. There wasn't no breaking, no graffiti, no MCing, no DJ called hip-hop on any genre chart. It might have been jazz, it might have been gospel, it might have been rock, it might even been R&B. But we are the first family of hip-hop, and we are the Universal Zulu Nation. Now, I've been able to successfully work with a lot of great people. Some of you might not know, some of you might not don't know. How about Big Pun? I work with Big Pun. How about Fat Joe? I work with Fat Joe. How about Lord Finesse? I work with Lord Finesse. How about Ice motherfucking T? For 36 years and I'm still with him. That's his name. You see him on Law and Order. Oh no, he's playing a cop. He's not a cop. He's far from a cop, baby. But I am here tonight because the Millennium TV invited me out alongside of a lot of the politics because hip-hop is politics. Hip-hop has a message for you, and even you, we got a message. If you listen to some of the records, I don't know about now. I had to turn around that one. I don't know about now, but when we did hip-hop, there were comedy in hip-hop. There was politics in hip-hop. There was black militants in hip-hop. And there were messages in hip-hop. And I'm going to break it down. The message, White Line, B Street. A child is born with no state of mind. That's a message. Public Enemy, Fight the Power. X-Clan, The red, the black, the green with the key. Sissy, rest in peace, Biz Markie. Comedy. Flavor Flav, comedy. And then we had Ice-T, reality rap. Not gangster rap. Reality rap. But let me explain something before I go. Reality rap is something you see in your neighborhood. So Ice-T was coming from Los Angeles, California, talking about the experience he see. But we were in New York City, and we forgot there were 50 more states left, maybe 51. All we knew about was New York City. So when Ice-T said, 6 in the morning, police at my door, where's the deed sweep across the back? We said, oh, shit, I can relate to that. But it's reality. You call it gangster rap, we call it reality rap. See, there was genres in music. Today, I'm not mad at the rappers because they're keeping hip-hop alive. So I cannot become my parent and don't like their music. I don't have to like it, but I would never say I don't like it for the simple fact they're doing something and they're keeping us alive. Thank you, young rappers, for doing that.
Why is it important for hip-hop has grown now, has grandchildren? People like Janaea Butler has been fighting to unionize hip-hop, the culture, to make an actual union. How do you feel about that?
Okay, Universal Zulu Nation, we said this 25 years ago. We need a union, but we don't have anything. There's no retirement plan in hip-hop. And no one wants to listen to us. No one wants to give us small donations to help us lift it up the bill. Once we get a few donations and a few sponsors, we can have a union. But we can't do it ourselves because we're too selfish. But right now, I can't go nowhere without this. In New York City, the Boogie Down Bronx, we have a museum called the Universal Hip Hop Museum where it archives our stories. Even yours, rapper, you can come in. It's open for hip hop and rappers just like you because we care about preserving our legacy, our music. It's enough that we got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got the Grammys Hall of Fame. We got the Country Hall of Fame. But we got no hip hop. We got it now, baby. It's in the Bronx, the birthplace of hip hop. Now, if we can get together and stop being selfish and being jealous of each other, we might be able to get us a union.
Before we go, you dropped a lot of jewels. But talk to me real quick about the art of rap. What is it?
The art of rap is something that me and Ice-T came up with 10 years ago. It wasn't about the cars, the money, the women. It was about the craft of how a hip-hop artist creates a record. Is it the beat? Is it weed that get them there? Is it something that happened? And it gives you an idea on how they write records because they are writers. And at that point, we did it. It was in the movie theater. It was great. It was great in the movie theaters. And then we turned into a festival and a concert. And we still got jealous people that don't want to participate with the culture of hip-hop. I don't give a damn if Louis books a day, if Joey books a day, if Gary books a day. He's booking a day to make money. I'm booking the art of rap to keep our culture alive. The art of rap is
respect. Wait, is Julie Morales there with you?
No, sir.
Oh, she didn't come out? Shout out to Julie. Shout out to Julie. First time. That's right. First time booking. That's my homegirl, Julie. But yo, Mick, thank you, man. Thank you for all you do.
And I'm going to tell you one more thing. If you're watching this and you decide to change that channel, you're going to miss something that means something to you, and it's very informative and educational. So don't even touch that dial.
Appreciate you, my brother. All the rap. This is your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap, exclusively on Millennium TV. We're here in the building, celebrating the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. We got hip-hop, we got politics, and we got Wall Street, all in one building, doing some amazing things. I got two gentlemen with me right now, and they're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to tell you a little bit about what they do. What's your name, sir?
Jonathan Jackson.
And what are you doing?
I am now running for Congress for the 1st Congressional District in Illinois.
All right, that's very huge. That's huge because that seat has a lot of symbolic meaning. You want to discuss that?
Well, this was the seat that African Americans, Mr. Oscar DePriest, first achieved in 1928. It's the longest seat serving African Americans in the United States, from the south side of Chicago And with that, there's an extraordinary opportunity to not only represent the citizens in the city of Chicago, in the district in Illinois, but around the nation. This seat affords the opportunity to speak from the Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Haiti. It's a federally elected seat. Everyone around the nation should be concerned about the 1st Congressional District. It's a very secure seat in that it's over 54% African Americans. There is not one majority African American district in the state of Texas. This is a majority African American district. From that, we can represent all of our issues and be able to lift up others that are needing help.
Now, speaking of issues, what do you think one of the most pressing issues for foundational black Americans or African Americans that stands as a barrier for us in this country today?
Well, first we have to protect our right to vote. Only citizens can vote. When you have the 15th Amendment jeopardize your right to vote, then you cannot sit on juries if you're not a registered voter. That's the lack of your 14th Amendment equal protection means you're going back towards the 13th Amendment of Jim Crow and another form of slavery. After that, we're talking about the gun violence. Guns are plaguing our communities nationwide. That's a federal issue. There is an agency called Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. That's not just for the municipalities and the local cities. We've got to stop this gun violence. We have to have access to opportunity. We have too many people that have education that don't have the opportunity. That's why we have to bring it to Wall Street. Inheritance and access means a lot. And unfortunately, we have not had that hereditary, that access of legacy to get admitted into Harvard and other places. The rules that were written, we weren't even included in. There have been 10,427 people to be elected to the House of Representatives to be a congressperson. Only 162 have been African Americans. We have represented less than 1% of the lawmakers to even get into the Congress. We have to get on the floor, argue our case, understand what there's coalition building, and also figure out what the new rules have to be for access to capital. We have the mindsets, we have the ingenuity, but the barriers to entries have been too high. We have too many bank branches that have closed in our neighborhoods. The way the capital markets are formed, where they say there is fiduciary responsibility, those are extreme code words to say those are the teachers and fire people and municipal employees cannot have their own pension funds redirected to invest in their own country. Our pension dollars have been invested in the Ukraine, have been invested in Russia, and have missed the Bronx and the south side of Chicago and Houston. We can repatriate and bring our capital back home and invest in our own community so we can build it home.
You just said a lot. Let me ask you, and that's a good thing. No. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. It's a real good thing. Let me.
It means a lot today. And for our people have to start to understand exactly what you said. Unless you invest in your own, you'll never have. We're letting the folks outside of our community control our community. We have to stop that. We have to start investing in our own. First of all, we have to learn the system because the system has been playing us for such a long time because we don't know how they play. We have to get in the system in order to understand the system. But I say this emphatically. We need gentlemen like this gentleman here in Congress. All right?
Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, and you're absolutely right. You dropped a lot of jewels just a second ago, but I wanted to ask you, what is your position on gentrification? I'll tell you mine, and then maybe you could maybe I have a misconception, or maybe I'm on point. But I think gentrification is ethnic cleansing American style, and it's targeting black folks specifically. They're bleaching us out of a picture. We're asked to be tolerant, inclusive, and diverse, and meanwhile we're diversifying, including, and tolerating ourselves out of a picture we rightfully belong in. How do you feel about that?
There's two parts to that. One part is that you have affordable housing. The second part of that is to be able to afford your housing. We also have to be able to keep up with our income. We have to put our emphasis also on this $1 trillion infrastructure spend. We also have to be able to make more money to stay in some of these neighborhoods. The way it's been used has been very malicious and very capricious, now in New York and Washington, Maryland, and Raleigh. I'm asking Chicagoans to come back home. They're in Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston, and Los Angeles, and Denver. They've been moved out of the city of Chicago. We have 261,000 African Americans have left Chicago in the first 2 decades of the new millennium. That's ethnic cleansing. So I feel very passionate about people having had their land stolen from them again. This happens in a very cynical cycle that we have to break in American history. We can't have roots because we keep getting expelled and kicked off our land. Nothing is new. I agree with you. That is wrong. You can't bring in the new, kick out the old. You've got to be able to raise up those that have already been there, and they can't be left behind.
When elected, because I'm not going to use the word if, when elected, how do you intend on working with both sides of the aisle? Because let's face it, Democrats will stick with Democrats, Republicans will stick with Republicans. You have the left, you have the right, and no one's in the center. How would you get everyone back to the center so we could pass laws that will benefit the American people?
Well, sometimes you have to compromise, sometimes you have to negotiate, and sometimes you have to fight. We have to fight now. There's no time for compromise. We've compromised too much. We've given up too much. We've bled too much. We've suffered too much. We have nothing else to give up. We have to fight to hold the line. We've got to build the wall in order for us to go forward. Right now, we are being over-policed, under-protected. Gun violence is afflicting us. Look at our life expectancy in the city of Chicago between Streeterville and that of Inglewood, the largest discrepancy in life expectancy in the nation. We've got infant mortality raising across the nation. We have no more time to waste or to compromise. They had asked one of the senators that was one of the great abolitionists, they said he was a radical abolitionist and that you need to compromise because you don't understand the other side of slavery. He said, I do. He said it's wrong. So sometimes the other people are talking is wrong. We've gone from the 1950s, where you're talking about make America great again, to people coming from bad countries, and these people are rapists and turning back to Haitians. That's the 19 teens with Woodrow Wilson. Now we're talking about the 1870s on trying to go and disrupt the Congress for the transfer of power on the Electoral College. One thing you're going to see happen in this election cycle is a lot of money is going to go into Secretary of State races. They're not trying to win the popular vote. They're trying to rig the Electoral College vote. That race is on now. There are 50 states. 30 of them are controlled by Republicans in both houses. Democrats control both in 19, and one is split. We're going back in time. We haven't seen that in over 140 years. So I'm going to wake up people and let them know we have to overwhelm the voting booths and polls. Our children have to know we have to overwhelm them. If it's in the margin, they are going to steal in broad daylight. We saw that this was the first time in American history we've not had a peaceful transfer of power. Those persons have gone back to get re-energized. They went back to the states, and they're coming back to still vote. We have to be on the field to fight now.
Last question. What are your feelings or your take on reparations for foundational Black Americans? Do you think the federal government owes the children of slaves a hand up for building this country from scratch, basically?
Yes, we need affirmative action. We also need reparations. We've been the victims of negative action. So therefore, all the government that has done exclusionary policies to exclude us, this is why we're on Wall Street. We're not fixing the blame. We want to fix the problem. We have to show them ways that we can enter the society. We're going to need workforce development programs. We're going to need money for child care. We're going to need money to get our men that did all this time, that have been incarcerated now as they make legalization of marijuana legal. The same lawyers that locked our children up are the same ones that have the license. We need to look at decriminalizing some parts of that and need to be able to have a restoration act to get these men's records clear. How can you serve your time in jail and come out and not be restored to your right to citizenship? You should be able to automatically get your right to vote back after you've done your time to society.
But straight up cash payments. Do you feel that foundational Black Americans deserve cash payments for slavery?
Yes. And the question becomes, what institutions do we need in order to perpetuate it, to sustain it? It has to be cash and institutions. You can't get the money and go back to the same institution where they have the same algorithms, the same formulas that will strip your money again. That's sharecropping. That's peonage. That's how theft becomes legalized. So we're here on Wall Street because we have to talk about the institutions that have been robbing us. Some people are paying too much money for too little. Some people get too much money for too little cost. So we've got to balance those scales. But is it one check and done? I don't see that. We have to fix the institution. We need more African American institutions. Where are we in media now? Do we have access to the license of the FCC?
As it is now, we don't, and I hate to say this, we don't really even control our own problems. And the problem is a lack of ownership. We don't own and control anything. Like our good brother Dr. Claude Anderson has taught us. You know, we have to, ownership is the key. And that's where we've been locked out of ownership.
And listen, I want to be an advocate for you. I want to be an advocate for my man, Mr. Blassingame. When you hear code words, and I want to help educate all those that I can, we don't do urban. What does that mean when a major retailer says we don't do urban and won't sponsor your show, won't go into our magazine? What does that mean when a retailer, and I don't want to put any on the spot specifically right now, but I'm talking to them. We don't do urban. That means they don't want black dollars. That does not make any sense in economics. You start from the center and the core and you build outward. We've got to take down these stratified and these segregated walls that still remain. There is work to be done. That's why I'm excited. And let me tell you this here. When I win Congress, I'm taking you, Kevin, and Mr. Blassingame, and everyone here to Congress with me. We're going to win.
I appreciate that. And thank you for being here today. And congratulations on your award. It's one of mine too.
He stays on the field.
Sir, we didn't even get a chance to talk about you.
I don't need, no. You know what? Let me just say this. What he talked about today is what I'm about. So I didn't have to say a word because he said it all. And we have to understand. Because what I went through, okay, when I was coming up, as a black man with a big afro, when I started out with Hearst magazine, the white folk laughed at my afro, but I said, I'm there for one reason. I'm there to learn your ways, okay? Because if I understand how to get around and massage into the situation, then I can learn more to take back home to my folks, okay? And teach them that want to learn, okay? This is what it's all about. Today, we see what's going on. We see what's going on in the Senate. We see what's going on in Congress. Okay, they're playing a game on us. And if we don't wake up, okay, they'll put us to sleep forever. Okay?
I agree.
So
I agree wholeheartedly.
let's take this man
And you actually
put
give me
him in
hope because I
Congress.
don't have too much hope in the system right as it is currently. I have very little faith. I have very little faith and hope in neither party, Republican and Democrat, because my issues aren't really met. I'm neither a Democrat nor a Republican. I vote based off of issues. And if you don't put my issue on the table, you won't get a vote out of me. So I know you're saying push the vote, push the vote, push the vote. But from what I was always taught, voting has always been what we call quid pro quo, something for something. But you can't expect me to want to continue to do, and there's nothing in it for me. So too many times, a lot of our problems, we've been under benign neglect for I don't know how long. Our problems are reduced to minority women and children, none of them of which I am. My family, you build a wall and say go back home. Home is South Carolina for me, Charleston, South Carolina. That's home. You know what I mean? I don't do the Pan-African thing. I want to be able to take care. I have a right to survive here just like everyone else, and I have a lineage here. And my lineage is my culture, which is foundation of Black America.
Part of my family starts in South Carolina. Greenville, Easley, Crippley Creek.
So I'm a root for you. I'm gonna talk to all my people in Chicago. Good luck. It's your boy Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We back. Got the Wall Street Project 25th birthday. We got hip hop in the building. We got economics in the building, and we got politics in the building. So for those that don't know, hip hop starts right here with this man right here. This is Coke Rock. For those that don't know them, please tell them who you are.
Let me introduce myself from Coopla Rock. I'm the first MC of hip hop. I came out of that room 1520 with Cool Herc.
pioneer hip hop. I'm with Coke Rock. We just finished doing a song called Who Is He? You know, the respect for the brother as the first MC of hip hop, the father MC of hip hop.
My partner, Lucky Bling. I'm his partner.
And his partner, what's your name again, brother?
Lucky Bling.
Lucky Blank. So look, why? When you look at hip hop now, right? You did it for out of love. There was no multi-million dollar contract. Nothing standing in the way. What inspired you to want to do this? Give this culture to the world.
Because I was around a lot of good young people that we loved each other. You know, like growing up back in the day on the block, you know, you took care of the block. Everybody knew their place, and it was love. Guys ain't steer you in the wrong direction. And that's like now, man. I'm a hard seeker, brain talker. If I don't feel you in the heart, you know, come on. It's about that. Look how crazy it is now out here, man. They back to attacking the elderly. And I'm an elderly cat. So, you know, it's getting a little dangerous.
Why is it important that hip hop is now involved with the rest of the world in terms of economics and politics?
You said why? You know, normally when anything is new and it's worth something, you know, politics, you know, usually get involved. You know what I mean? Economics usually get involved. You know, but most of all, we never realized that it was going to happen like that. You know, when hip hop started. You know what I mean? But like everything that's good flourish. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and like, you know, not to get into too much of a story because it's about me as well. I'm a pioneer hip hop, but it's about Coke Rock. You know what I mean? I want to really express itself, you know, on what's going on. You know what I mean? With our culture and so forth. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, but they don't get back. They don't get back. You understand?
Coke, let me ask you a question. You'll like this question. How many of the so-called pioneers were really at that party on Cedric Avenue? Some of them say they were. Everyone say they were there, but they don't have the age to prove that they were there.
Okay, those are the Lion Kings and the Glory Stealers. Because that's all they did was lie. They wasn't there. None of them was there. I'll be 67. And I mean, it was a quarter and 50 cents. They wasn't there. My team ran the block. We ran the party. But they wasn't there. They was too young to know. I stopped before hip-hop became hip-hop. I stopped before Sugar Hill became Sugar Hill. I stopped before the Black Door. I said, like, again, with me, I'm Coke LaRock. Where did T LaRock, K LaRock, Doc LaRock, the late great Scott LaRock, R.C. LaRock, there's 9D LaRock, there's LaRocks all over here. But the original, I am the patent and everybody else is product. I'm the first G Money man. I kept it G better. That's when cats was riding bikes, I was driving cars.
All right. How do you feel about hip hop, the culture today? Is it good, bad, or indifferent? How do you feel about it?
It goes good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, it go all ways. It go all national. I'm just glad B-boys done made it to the Olympics. That's amazing.
That's right.
Another thing, as far as the game, you know, that game, the Super Bowl, you know, they had everybody on stage, like who Ice Cube and so forth. You know, but that was the first time hip hop ever been on the Super Bowl. So my point is, why wasn't he there?
Right.
A hip hop, you know what I mean? I mean, let's come back and look at each other. You know what I mean? Let's rejoice.
What are you working on now, or what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm with my partner Lucky Bling, and I'm down with LaRock. That's my team. LaRock bookings. You know, I got some young acts. We mixing the young with the old, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, that's powerful.
To keep it together. We giving shows. We having one Thursday, 24th. But once again, that's what I'm trying.
You want to tell the people where's it?
You kick it for love.
At 128th, 24th, and Lenox Avenue.
Yeah, at LaRock. You know.
And you guys do this regularly?
Yeah, like we've been there for a minute. You know, we sliding around, and don't forget April 23rd is my birthday. It's on the 4th, but I'm having a party. We'll let you know where and how that's going down. But that's my thing now, you know. And like I said, I did a track with Happy. You know, K Slate put me down. All wishes to K Slate, the one and only. You know, and like I said again, I'll be 67, man. Don't think
You look
I'm
good for
gonna
your
be
age, my brother.
Don't think I'm gonna be 90 running around. You know, I make greeting me. That's what I want to do. And I'm the 2010 Hot Times Cannabis Cup Award winner. I'll be in Amsterdam September 26th, 5th, and 4th. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on Coke LaRock Bookings. Go ahead, love.
Coke LaRock Bookings or Coke LaRock Instagram.
All right, yo, listen. Thank you. Congratulations. No, man. Congratulations. Where's Miss Book at? All right, Todd, come on over here. We're gonna talk. Oh, she can talk about. I'm gonna get her too.
In this subject, before all type of church, all type of gospel, all type of religion, they were saying this was Satan music. Now we got gospel singing hip hop. We got Pentecostal singing hip hop. That's how the worldwide went everywhere with this hip hop. Can't stop it.
This culture has circumnavigated this planet a couple of times. And salute to you because you don't get. I don't think you get the accolades you deserve.
That's why when you acknowledge me, I give it back. Because that's who I respect, and respect me. I'm not a monkey with a cup in my hand like a grinder.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back. Cap and no cap. It's your boy Kevin C. Meggett. Cap and no cap. I'm here with Rob Schwartz. Rob, tell them what you do.
What don't I do? Rob Schwartz, what's the deal? Rob Schwartz in the place to be, man. On Humag Multimedia. We on Humag Distribution. We got 1,700 records. We got a Grammy under us. We got 3 music TV networks with the very, very first hip-hop network ever on Roku 10 years ago. The first one was hip-hop on Netflix in 2005 when it was the mail on Netflix. First one was hip-hop from Blockbuster. First music distribution company do NFTs. I do a lot, man.
What don't you do?
I do movies, produce, direct movies. I was in Hollywood. My last movie premiered at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. I'm going to movie shoot tomorrow in Baltimore. Just got back from South by Southwest in Dallas. So
I was Southwest.
Incredible. It's my first time going.
Yeah.
Because I always go to the Winter Music Conference in Miami the same week. So this year I went to South because I was speaking and I was doing something in Dallas. So I went to amazing.
So we got today. This is the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
We got hip hop in the building. We got Wall Street in the building, and we got politics in the building. So hip hop has now become an economic, political tool. Why is it important that the three marry each other?
Because we're the voice. I mean, hip hop's been around. Initially, the launch is considered 1973. So, I mean, you look at how long we've been around. It took this long for us to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. If anyone can fight, hip hop can fight. You know, we've been around this long, and now we're the biggest music in the world. And we've been that way for years, but it started from nothing. Everything else started with something more of a background. Hip hop didn't have a background. And now this is where we are. So that's why it's important for the politicians to listen to our voice, because we're the ones in the street. We're the ones that can get together and do things as a unit. And that's what the world needs to hear more of. They hear the music side, but they need to know more about the power that's inhaled inside of hip hop.
So, what's the difference between the industry today than the industry of yesteryear?
Well, it's different as of yesterday. Every day it changes. And that's the strategy. My job to be an entrepreneur in this industry is not just be an entrepreneur, but you have to study the trends and be ahead of everybody else. That's one thing I focus on is, okay, I can sit back and make money, but I'd rather be ahead and figure out what's next before it's next. Like I said, we did the NFTs. I launched something called the Hoomies. You can Google the first music distribution NFTs. You'll see Hoomies. That's me. No one knew what NFTs were. It was hard to sell. When I launched on Roku in 2012, no one knew what Roku was. It was hard to sell it, but we're always the first, and we'll always be remembered as that. So the strategy is to always be ahead of the curve. Don't just sit there and don't follow people. Once everyone's doing it, it's already too late. You got to figure out what's next.
Absolutely. Where can up and coming artists or established artists find you for your services and products?
I'm easy. I'm Humag. WHOMAG. Humag. And we're at every social platform. HumagTV.com, HumagDistribution.com, but all social platforms. It's Humag. And you know, the way we work as far as distribution, we're referral based only. We get so many submissions every day that we can't take everybody. We're very careful who we take on as part of our team because our distribution is more of a team. They're just like a distro kid or TuneCore, CD Baby, everybody. We actually talk to everybody and we become a team. My other artists are sharing other artists and we all come together, and that's what makes us different, man. So get with us. I mean, hopefully you know somebody that's down. Do your research.
Before we leave, what would you tell them, the inspiring rapper that woke up yesterday and said, I want to do this, I want to participate in this culture, and I want to use it as a profession?
Prepare to go broke. Prepare to sleep in your car. I did. Prepare to put, but the thing is, this industry is not made for everyone. COVID really knocked out a lot of people out of this industry. It really kept the sharks. I mean, there's a fight for those that didn't want to fight. So to me, it's like I've seen this lot of separation over the last 2, 3 years for overall period. My thing is, if you really, really want this, you'll get it. But you gotta sacrifice everything. Don't sit there and start binge watching Netflix and spend 10 hours of your life on Netflix. Don't just sit there and smoke your weed and play your video games. Like, figure out if you get burnt out out of writing, then learn how to do marketing, promotion. I mean, you are as good as the people you surround yourself with. So make sure you have a solid team. If teams want to help pull you down and do some other stuff and take you off track, you don't need them. You got to figure out they have to push you. When you're burnt out and tired, someone needs to say, "Yo, what are you doing? Get back to work. Let's do it together." That's what you need. Not so it's, let's go get a drink. Let's go play some games. So it's a good team and positive energy. Because especially with social media, be careful with your personal social media. Everyone sees it and it could shut you down. So be careful.
Rob, thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure seeing you, my brother. And enjoy the rest of your night. We're here, 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. Happy birthday. It's your boy, Kevin C. Meggett, Cap and No Cap. We're here celebrating the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. And I'm with, what's your name, brother?
Natalia Del Moro.
And tell our viewers what you do.
I'm co-founder of Nordic Consulting Firm and contributing writer for Icon Magazine.
Okay, so hip-hop has now become very iconic. It's in the room with Wall Street. It's in the room with politics. Why is it important to brand hip-hop and marry them into those two categories?
One, hip-hop is known throughout our communities as being influencers, as being another way out of the negative lifestyle that people have gone into. And nowadays, the youth needs this into their lives. This is what leads them into better things. And everybody knows that for any type of future, there must be economic purpose. There must be economics flowing into the community and flowing through people. This is one of the things that hip-hop brings. Not only does it bring culture, not only does it bring intelligence because it teaches you wordplay, it teaches you different cultures, it teaches you ideologies and concepts, but it teaches you about economics. And this is why it's so big on Wall Street, is because Wall Street is built upon economics as is the rest of the world. And hip-hop, as a brand, is a multi-billion-dollar business.
That's right.
It's just that people are just now starting to realize how important hip-hop is as far as the monetary effects of what we bring to the table. And everybody knows if you bring it to the table, you bring it to the world.
Absolutely. So, how can people find you, my brother?
Okay, you can find us on Facebook or Benoit Nori, or also Nori Consulting Firm, Instagram Benoit, RENOR 5588, also at iconlifestylemagazine.com.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Absolutely. This is an iconic event, and there's so many people here that mean so much to a person like me. Because I was born in the late 70s, so I looked up to so many of these people.
Listen, I want to thank you, man. And congratulations, you were one of the recipients. You weren't one of the recipients. Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, you got something to work towards, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're representing, and hopefully I'll see you next year,
Absolutely.
my brother.
Hey,
Please.
thank you for having me.
This is Cap and No Cap. We'll be right back. We're back. Cap and No Cap. I am your host, Kevin C. Meggett. We're in the building at the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. Happy birthday, Wall Street Project. I'm here with, what's your name again, sis? Cherie?
Sean Marie Thompson.
Sean Marie Thompson. You're an author, correct? You wrote a book. What's the book about?
I'm a children's book author.
That's amazing. That's needed.
Yes.
Where did you draw your inspiration from?
Actually, I've been working on the book for about 20 years, off and on.
Okay.
And I'm an author, but I'm a poet and a songwriter. And about 20 years ago, I decided to start a fairy tale. And
That's amazing.
yeah,
Well, if you could write a song, you could write a book.
yeah, it went through different stages. And I completed it in 2019, but then the pandemic happened. So my manager, Maureen Singleton, is working with me along with John Bassengame. And we're published and give it a really good book launch.
I'm sorry. It hasn't launched as of yet?
No,
When is the expected day of launch?
we're thinking about Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, Mother's Day. But book is called Ananaya, the Three Penny Princess. It's an African fairy tale with the backdrop of a real life African dynasty. So it's an Ethiopian princess, and the backdrop is the Solomonic dynasty. So it's a real African dynasty. Like if you've heard of Haile Selassie, his lineage, he was the emperor of Ethiopia. So it would be like say his great 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 grandmother, but only it's not a real story. It's a fairy tale.
And why is it important for you to be here tonight in the room with hip hop, politics, and Wall Street? What made you come out tonight?
Well, we're celebrating Black excellence, and I am all about that.
Well, I wish you luck on your book. Thank you so much. And where can our viewers find you?
Shar Thompson on Instagram or author Shar on Instagram.
Okay, well, good luck to you. I'm looking forward to your book coming out, and I would definitely recommend it. Thank you. We'll be back. Cap or no cap. Okay.
My name is Second Signing.
Hi, how are you? This is my better side. How you doing? You look amazing.
Thank you. My name is Shaka Shining. Nice to meet you.
Shaka Shining? Okay. On the camera. Okay. More. Right here? More light. Yeah, you want you more on the light. Okay. We're back. Cap or no cap. It's your boy, Kevin C. Meggett. We in the room. This is the 25th birthday. You were saying anniversary birthday. 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. We got hip hop in the house. We got Wall Street in the house. And we got politics in the house. My next guest, what's your name again, dear?
Shaka Shining.
And what exactly do you do?
A little bit of everything. I'm an international plus size model. I'm represented by Nori Attorney Firm.
Oh, dope.
I'm about to publish my own children's book. I'm very excited.
What gave you the inspiration of wanting to do that?
My daughter. I'm a single mother.
Okay. So is the book actually being worked on right now?
The book's already written. Actually, I'm coming out on the news today at 8 p.m. BronxNet. I'm looking for an illustrator. That's all I need.
Oh, okay. So listen, what made you want to be in the room with hip hop, politics, and Wall Street today?
All the legends are here today. I am honored to be here. Oh my God, seriously, I'm honored.
Well, you look amazing. We had the energy in here is so great. What's the name of your book? Do you have a name yet?
Livy's Adventures.
Okay. So look, this book is coming out, and I need y'all to look out for it. And cap or no cap, we'll be back. Thank you so much. Likewise. We back, cap or no cap. We ain't capping. And we back. So listen, we out here. Today's the 25th birthday of the Wall Street Project. You got hip hop, you got Wall Street, and you got politics in the house. All under one umbrella, all unified. I'm sitting here right now with one of the partners to this piece. What's your name, brother?
A.B. Butler.
AB. Tell me what you do.
I work in the music industry. I work with J.B. Smooth. Rest in peace to my cousin Chris Light. I work in the music industry.
He's in the music industry. Why is it important now for hip hop to actually put its footprint in politics and in Wall Street?
Well, politics, yes, they need to be in politics to help change the game. Because at the end of the day, if
No, that's cool. That's cool.
give it to me again.
Give it to you again. Why is it important for hip hop to have its fingerprint on politics and in Wall Street?
Well, I'm gonna say hip hop. They put the finger on politics because basically, if it wasn't hip hop, we wouldn't have a voice. The voice is coming out of hip hop. People, what they see, what they feel, what they've been through. You know what I mean? We just got to come around as a family and learn. Stop killing one of each other. Stop hating on each other. You know?
So we need a recondition or reteaching, right? I get it. And
And that definitely comes from labels because they don't want to change. They want to keep the drama going, keep us programmed. You know what I mean?
but it's up to us to we could flip the narrative. I know. Remember back in the day, because I look young, but I'm kind of old. You know what I mean? We got the same haircut. But back in the day, people like Red Alert, people like Red Alert, people like Chuck Chillout, people like the Latin Rascals, all of these, um, Mr. Magic, they broke careers. They broke artists. They're not allowed to do that anymore. So they took away the authenticity of what a hip hop artist would or should sound like.
Well, you know what it is? It ain't back then. They did it for the love. They did it from their heart. They wasn't, yes, they wanted to check and support their family, but now the corporations run the label. So, of course, the program director's not going to let them play Chuck D, or KRS-One, Brand Nubian, Common. They're not going to let that play on the radio no more. They want shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up.
Do you think we should take some responsibility? I mean, after all, how many radio stations do we own and control?
Mm. Yeah, we should.
See what I'm saying? Hip hop is a multi-billion-dollar business, but we still don't have access to our own culture. It's almost like we're begging for a house, or a room in our own house.
Well, they sold, man. They sold, You know what I mean? You got so many artists that is in a position to open a door to change that, but they so caught up, just want the white man controlling them. They want the question mark in their corner. You know what I mean? So they don't want to want to help themselves.
Are you aware that July 1st is the 40th anniversary, 40th year anniversary of the Message?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm that young.
So hip hop, hip hop got grandparents. They're grandparents now. So we're not children anymore, and we got to, I think the elders got to really step it up and maybe join politics, run for city council, run for mayor, run for Congress. What do you feel about that?
I feel you're 100% right. You're 100% right. But the older cats got to get out their feelings and start worrying about what the younger cats do. It's like back in the days where our parents probably was the haters, and we was like, nah, it's gonna work. So we got to learn to work with them and teach them the right way and get the yes mans out of their ways to help them grow, not lose. Because every time you turn around, every artist that get a deal, I guarantee a month later they get killed because the labels got insurance on these things
And they get their catalog.
and they get everything. Yeah,
Sounds like we need to have a hip hop summit, my brother.
good. That's what you got. If you had a hip hop summit, you got to get the real people about it that love the hip hop, not just love a check, love the culture. See, most of them love a check. They don't care. Like I say, a person I can say that loves culture is Fat Joe. Good dude. He don't mind showing. You know what I mean?
What do you think about today's hip hop?
Well, we got some good. Shout out to my girl Dirty Diane. You got Euro got it. There's a couple of nice artists out there. But once again, the industry don't want to let them in. You know what I mean? So then you got people that you know is in position, they the blocker. So as they see you come, like, nah, don't let him in. Because he knows when you let a person in, good, other good people in. They don't want that.
That goes back again to we need to own and control a little bit more so that we could do a little bit more.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
I'm with you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having this event. You know, love and respect to the Wall Street Project. Happy birthday, happy 25th, and 25 more. Yes, sir. Hold on.